Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shen. I'm finally sitting down with you guys and showing you how I digital plan using Notion. Digital planning is when you digitally record your schedules, notes to help mitigate any stress of managing your time. I find digital planning to be less time consuming. So if you're thinking about digitally planning or you want to up your digital planning so that you're more efficient, I can show you where to start. So you don't really need anything too fancy to start digitally planning, as long as you have some type of smart device. It could be a laptop, an iPad, even a phone. I actually started to digitally plan using my phone. I was using this app called Planmore, I think it's called now. They've changed their name, but I will leave the link to the app down below because that's how I originally got into digitally planning, and I found the app to be extremely helpful. But now I'm a little bit more, not advanced, but I want to do more when it comes to digitally planning. I've moved over to Notion, which is a way more powerful tool to use. And again, I first started digitally planning using my phone, and I feel like most people have a smartphone nowadays, so you can always just start there. There's so many reasons why I love Notion, but the biggest factor is that it's a free program and it's powerful. They do have payment options for more advanced features, but I personally don't feel like you need it. The only thing that I would say is that it is a program that you have to kind of be familiar with. It's not very difficult to learn. I'd say if you give yourself about a day, you should be able to learn a lot of the basics. So the best way I can describe Notion is that it's a block workspace. What that essentially means is that everything in Notion is a block, and you use these blocks to create a workspace. It's fully customizable and integrated with so many different programs, and it's such a powerful tool for organizing and planning once you wrap your head around it. So because of this, Notion is quite literally for anyone. It could be a mom of three trying to meal prep, or a student trying to organize their studying, or even somebody like me who's a content creator and need a little bit more organization. It can even work for any regular schmegular person. It just depends on what you want from it. And now Notion has integrated Google Calendars in their own calendar, which makes it even more powerful. So one of the biggest benefits of digitally planning is that everything is all in this one place. You don't have bits of paper lying around or you're losing information. It's all online for you to access anytime, anywhere. And if you lose it, you do have somewhat of a backup. Whereas if you was to lose your physical planner, that's it. I really do get overwhelmed with tasks, and this just helps to keep me on track and accountable. So today I'm going to give you guys a Notion tour and take you through my template. I've actually made two templates. I've made a creator template and a basic template. The creator template comes with a creator page that has all of your systems, databases, everything that you need to function as a content creator. The basic template has everything that the creator template has except for the creator page. I wanted a template that would encourage me creating systems opposed to just goal setting. So you see that my template really reflects that, and I don't have like hundreds of pages for you to flick through. It's really a basic but very powerful template. And when I conceptualized these templates, I made it so that you wasn't spending a lot of time inputting information. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm going to show you guys the templates now. Welcome to Monday's planner. So your daily planner will act as your home page. You have your dashboard here, which makes up 4 different sections. You have Plan and Organize, which has your daily planner, your finance, your wardrobe organizer, and your content creation page. Moving on, you have your wellness, which is your wellness page, your wellness journal, sleep journal, and recipes. Then you have entertainment, which is your media area, which contains all of your books, shows, and movies. And then finally you have goals and review, which contains your goals, vision board, and your end of year review. So although you get the template already built for you, you can customize it to suit your needs. All of the image on the pages are replaceable if you select the 3 dots at the top right. And then if you go down to replace, you can replace these images with any other images that you have. So before I start, I want to reiterate that this is a block workspace. That's the easiest way that I can explain it so that you can understand how to use it a bit more efficiently. So essentially you can't just copy and paste any type of information because they're blocks. So you can copy certain blocks and paste them, but you can't copy all of the blocks and paste them. For example, you can't copy a database and paste it, but you can duplicate it and move it to a different area. So scrolling down, you have your monthly goals. I thought this was really important to have on the home page because I need to visualize and see where I am with my monthly goals throughout the month. Every monthly goal has a progress bar, so I can actually see how far along I am with that goal in a month. And then every goal has a checkbox that I can tick off once I've completed it. Moving further down, you have your clock here. This is actually a widget. There's lots of different widgets that you can put into your Notion. I tend to use them very sparingly because they can slow down the loading of the page sometimes. And I do explain how to get this widget in my templates. You then have your calendar on the right. Notion has just updated their calendar, so you can now link your Google Calendar to your Notion calendar. This calendar is basically your daily task. But if you do purchase the creator template, you do have your content calendars here if you just toggle it at the top. Unfortunately, you can't merge the two calendars together, so hopefully Notion will find a solution for this. So if you have a look at your calendar, you have statuses of all the tasks that you should be doing. So all the green are tasks that you've completed, and then all the gray are tasks that you haven't started. Again, this is just a way of visually keeping you accountable and on top of your tasks. I filtered this to show you a month of your daily tasks. It will show you tasks that are beyond their due date as well. The only thing that it won't show you is tasks that's completed. So as soon as you've checked them off, it will disappear from your view. You can filter this if you don't want that to happen. Scrolling further down, you have your non-negotiables on the right, and then below that you have your to-do list. You then have your shopping list underneath that, and I'm going to show you something really cool about this later on in the video. And then finally you have your time blocking area on the right. I've actually frozen the time part, so when you do scroll across to the correct day, it doesn't move this view. You can toggle this off if you don't like that by selecting the name, then head into unfreeze column here, and it will unfreeze it for you. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys is your finance area. The finance page is made up of two databases. Don't be afraid when I say databases. They look overwhelming, but they're really simple. So scrolling down to your expenses database, I've put in some examples for you guys so I can show you how it works. This database holds all of your expenses. The first column is your expense column, which is the name of the expense. You then have the amount column, then your checklist column, your category, and then your date. I've changed my amount properties to show pounds, but if you select amount and then head into edit property, then number format, you can change it to whatever currency you use in your country. Moving over to the category, if you select category, you can edit this property as well. So you can add more categories and remove categories by selecting the plus sign where it says options here. Moving on to your balance database, you then have your amount column again. Again, you can change the currency. Then you have your expense item. This is your expense database that's linked to this balance database. This is what helps you calculate your expenses for the month. You then have your expense amount, which calculates all of your expenses from this column here. And then you have your balance column that calculates your expenses and your balance. At the bottom of the database, you do have a running sum. So you can see how much you've balanced for the year, how much expense for the year, and how much income for the year. I've inputted some examples for the months of January, February, and March. So I'm going to edit March so you guys can see how it works. The first thing you're going to want to do is head back to your expense database. This is where you're going to put in all of your expenses for the month. So once you've input all of your expenses for the month, you want to scroll back down to your balance database. In this column, you're going to want to input your income for the month. So I'm just going to change this to 3,000. And then for your expense items, if you select it, I'm going to remove all of these just to show you guys. This is what it should look like. You want to select the add a page here, and this will take you to your expenses database, which is going to allow you to select which expenses you want to add in for that particular month. So here you now have a list of all the expenses that you've listed above. This is why I've differentiated my water bill for February and my water bill for March. I had to find a way to differentiate it, so I just put the name of the month at the end. I'm going to select March water bill. I'm also going to select travel, gas, rent, and groceries. So if you scroll across here, you can see the calculation of your expenses for the month of March is £2,550, which leaves you with a plus balance of £450. So this will help you to budget a bit better. You can put in any income amount here. You don't have to put the exact amount. You can put however much you are willing to spend for the month. Now, I do want to reiterate that if you are adding in a new expense or the amount of a previous expense has changed, you have to add it as a new expense. So if I scroll back up here, the reason why I have water bill in February and water bill in March is the March bill is £200 and then the February bill is £50. So the only way to get the correct figures in your balance sheet is to add it as a new expense. If you change the amount, it will change it in all of your balances for the month. So say for example, your February bill is £50. You've already included your water bill for February here. If you now change the amount here to put it into your March bill, it will also change it in your February bill and won't reflect the correct amount. So that's why you have to add it as a new item. Okay, so that is your finance area. It's really simple and basic. I didn't want anything to be too complicated. I just wanted it to be straightforward. You can use everything in here to calculate or set yourself a budget. Heading back to our daily planner, let's go into our wardrobe organizer. So you have a gallery view and you also have a table view here. It's pretty straightforward and simple. We're going to add a new item just to show you guys. You want to hit new. Where it says add cover at the top, you select that. It will bring up an automatic cover. You can now select change cover here and then upload file. So I'm going to do 2 examples to show you guys, and I'm just going to put this as stripe shirt. So once the image is uploaded, you can now go into the different properties here. I'm going to select type here. From the options, I'm going to select top. You can add and remove options. For brand, I'm going to select Zara. Color, I'm going to put purple. And then for type, I'm going to put stripes. If I now come out of this, it should show up here. You can also edit this to show whatever property you'd like by selecting the 3 dots on the side. Then you head into properties here and then you have the options here. If you go into layout here, the options here you have fit image. If you toggle that, it will show the whole image like that. Or you can toggle it off, which I prefer for it to stretch the image so it shows like this. So now there's 3 options. Now the cool thing about having this is that you can filter it to show you exactly what you need to see. So if I only wanted to see purple items, I'll go into filter here. I'll select the color, purple, done, and it will show me all the items that are purple. You can also layer your filters. So if I wanted to see purple items that was only trousers, I'd add another filter here, go into type, I'll select bottoms and then done. And now you only see purple trousers. You can remove the filters by selecting them, the 3 dots at the top, and then delete filter, and then it should remove the filter for you. So that's your wardrobe organizer. There's no need to be unorganized now. You can visually see all the items that you have in your wardrobe without having to physically dig around in your wardrobe. So the last page in our plan and organize section is our content creation page. This is only going to be in the creator template, so you won't have this in the basic template. This is your content creation page. It's minimal but very powerful. At the top you have 3 drop down menus. You have your content planner, which is just your content planning database. You also have all of your social media platforms here. Again, you can add or remove whatever platforms you'd like. And then you have your resources area, which is like conversion sites, Canva, Epidemic Sound. Again, you can edit these out to put in whatever resources benefit you the most. On the left hand side, you have your menu. You have your content planner, which is also here for quick access. You have your sponsorships page, your templates page, your potential brands, branding resources, and contracts and agreements. Below that, you have a brain dump area. I've put these throughout the template because I like to be able to drop information really quickly if it pops into my head. I don't want to have to toggle back to a different screen just to put down an idea that I have. So you'll see these brain dump sections like scattered throughout the template. So let's go into our content planner. First thing you'll see is this quote here. Again, you can replace this with whatever quote or image you'd like. And then again, you have your little brain dump area. Below that, you have your projects database. This is an extremely powerful database because it brings in information from more than one database. We'll start off with the views that you have. You have your to-do view. This is your current month that have not been published. So anything that's been published within the current month won't be here. You then have your all tab, which is, as it says, it's every single content idea that you've created and posted or not posted. You can change this by selecting the due date tab, And then there you have the option to sort it ascending or descending. You can also hide this little filter area. Sometimes I don't like to see that, so I just click filter and it hides it for you. The next view you have is your calendar view. This is what you see on your main home page. So you have all of your content here in a calendar. And then finally you have your board view. This is a very good way of seeing the stages that your content is at. So I'm just going to toggle this here. You can see that you have your social media options here, so you can also edit these out to put in whichever social media you'd like or remove whichever social media you don't like. So at the moment I have TikTok, Pinterest, Instagram and YouTube. Those are the main ones. Going into the YouTube one because that has the most amount of content. You have your refilming, awaiting brand approval, editing, filming, ideas, ready to post, and then posted. You can see exactly how much content is, for example, an idea but hasn't made it into the filming section. You can see where you are with your content. So if you're behind with like filming or editing, then you can see all of that. Or if you don't have any ideas, then you can also see that. You can also change out these status options. Again, you can customize this whole template to suit your needs. So to change these, you click the three dots here, you go into properties, you want to go into the status property, and then you have your three sections here. You have your to-do, which I have as idea. You then have your in progress, which I have as refilming, awaiting brand approval, editing, filming, ready to post. And then finally, you have your completed section here, which I have as posted. As I said, you can edit these out to say whatever you'd like it to say, or you can add more here by selecting the plus sign. Heading back to the to-do tab, you have your projects column here, which is the name of your content. You then have your due date. After revising the template, I thought it would be important to have a posted date column here so that I know if I'm consistently not posting on time. You have your status column here, and then this column here is really cool. This is your sponsorship column. Now this column is a link back to your sponsorship database. What it does is link your brands to your content. So this is a Gymshark example content, and you can see that in the sponsorship area you have Gymshark here. If you select it here and then there again, you can see it takes you to your Gymshark brand. This page will have all the information you could possibly need about the brand. I'll go into it in a little bit more detail when we do go through the sponsorship page, but it's really handy to have this like right there for you. You don't have to keep flicking through different pages or trying to find the brand to connect to the content. It's already there for you. Scrolling further along, you have your platform, you have your category, your payment, so whether it's outstanding, paid, or waiting. And then this is another database that's been linked into this content projects database, and this is for your contracts and agreement. Any brand deal that you have with a particular content, you can also upload the specific contract for that content. So the whole idea of this is to have a fluid workflow for you to be able to access information as quickly and efficiently as possible. You don't have to go through different databases to find the information to match up with other information. It's all here for you. The biggest tip I can give you guys is to use the filter option to search for things. You can filter it by outstanding payment, by date, by brand, sponsorship, whatever it is, you can filter it, and this will show up all of the information that you need. So if you need to go back in time to check something, you can do it really quickly. So I've made templates for different platforms. I think I only have YouTube and Instagram at the moment, but you can use the same premise of these templates to make a new one for TikTok. You can edit them out by just selecting the dot here and then duplicating it, and then you can edit it to say TikTok or Pinterest or whatever. When you're creating a new content idea, you can either add it from here, or you can go here, click here, and then you can select exactly which template you'd like to use. So if it's YouTube, you can select YouTube and it will bring up and pre-populate the YouTube template for you. So I just quickly wanted to show you guys the templates. So this is what your template will generally look like. You'll have the name here. You can edit this out and put the name of the content that you're creating. You have your filters and options here, so you can put in the category, upload the contract, due date, payment status, platform is already there for you because of the template, but you can change it out if you like. And then you can include the sponsorship if you like, and then the status of the content. Scrolling down, you have your actual template for creating the content. So a menu to the side has your title ideas, scripting, thumbnail ideas. Then you have a little brain dump area. Below that, you have your resources again for thumbnail, title, help, visual inspo, which I've just put as Pinterest here, but you can edit this out to show whatever you like. Below that, you also have your checklist. You can edit these out as well. And then I thought it would be extremely useful if you're doing paid content or sponsorships to have this contract information. It's just like quick access to information. So you can put down the deadline date, the payment date that you received the payment system, the amount, and then the usage duration. So whether that sponsorship usage is for a year, 2 years, whatever it is. So you can always come back to it and have that information just quickly at hand for you instead of having to go through the whole contract. So below that, you have a linked view of your sponsorship database. I've included this here so you don't have to go back to the sponsorship page to see it. This is your content creating page. It's such a powerful and useful tool to have. It just makes content creation so much easier. So the next tab in the menu is your sponsorships page. The whole idea of this page is for you to store information about a brand that you have worked with or you're currently working with. You have a gallery view and you also have a table view. So you have the name of the brand that you're working with. You have the projects that you've worked with that brand, the category, whether you've worked with them yet, and your rating for that brand. I've created a template here for you. So when you open up the template, you can add the brand's logo by changing the cover. Then you can change out the name. You can populate all these areas. The only area that I'd say to leave alone is the projects area, because this will automatically populate when you start creating projects with this brand. So long as you're putting it in your content creating page, it will automatically attach itself to this brand. Scrolling down, you have a menu here which has your contacts for the brand, any guidelines and aesthetics for the brand. You also have a templates area and then a contracts area. To the right, you have a snapshot of all of the finance information for this specific brand. So the currency that they operate in, the payment system that they use, the time frame of payment, and you can also put in your total revenue to date. Then below that, you have a section to add any thoughts or opinions about working with the brand. And then obviously I had to link back the projects page here so that you don't have to flick through different pages or sections to get to it. So here I would actually filter the sponsorship on this database. So the filter is already here. If it's not already in your view, you can select add filter, and then it will come up with a list of all of the brands that you've already filled out. So I'm going to select brand name here because this is the example, and then done. Once you've had projects with this brand, every time you go into this brand information, it will show you all of the projects that you've had with this brand down below. So I recommend just filtering it every time you add a new brand to show that information. So going back to the main sponsorship page, I'm going to scroll down to show you guys the contracts and agreements area. So essentially all this is a place to store your contracts and agreements. This database is linked back to your sponsorship database, which is linked back to your projects database. So any sponsorship that you have with a brand, you can upload the contract here. It's pretty straightforward. I don't feel like I need to go into too much detail about that. Templates page is again pretty straightforward. It's just an area that you can upload templates so that you have easy access to them. So for example, a media kit, you can upload it here, and anytime you need to have access to it, you can just easily download it here. Another cool section is your potential brands area. Now, when I created this template, I created it with being a small content creator in mind. I will eventually start to reach out to brands to do sponsorships and content. And I just needed an area to store all of that information. So this is what this page is. At the top, you have your templates area, which is reaching out to brands, following up with brands, paid content. It's just somewhere that I can keep for some type of a format to my emails, so I don't have to keep writing them from scratch. Below that, you have your brands database, which is all of the brands that you want to reach out to. You have a gallery view and you also have a table view. Starting off with the table view, you have brand, which is the name of the brand, the contact of the brand, and the name of the contact. You also have the status, so whether you've contacted them, not contacted them, waiting for them to reply, rejection, whatever it is, for you to stay on top of it. And then you also have a last updated you know, date section so that you can see when last you had contact with that brand, so you can follow it up. And then you finally have this type area, which is basically the type of brand it is, whether it's fashion, fitness, beauty, whatever it is. So that's what this is. And then if you go into the gallery view, this is just more of an aesthetic way of showing it. All you have to do is change out the cover image to the brand logo and it will show up on the page. And fill out all of this information, and then you also have little sections here just to keep you informed about the brand. The last two sections are quite self-explanatory. You have your branding resources. This is just a page that you can keep all of your branding information. So for example, the fonts you use, the colors you use, you can save all that information there so that you have some type of consistency with your brand. You also have your contracts and agreement page, which is basically what I showed you before. And then that's it. That is your content creation page. This is a extremely efficient and powerful tool because all of your databases are linked together. So once you update one, it will automatically update all of them for you. All the information is just in one place, so you don't have to keep flicking back and forth to different pages or section. For me, I just don't want to be overwhelmed with having to complete tasks and creating content. This just makes it so much more efficient and creates like a solid workflow for me. So if you're a small content creator or you're thinking about becoming a content creator, this template is such a useful template for you and it will help you. This is your wellness page. I put so much energy into this page because I really wanted it to reflect the lifestyle that I'm trying to achieve. So you have your 4 tabs here, which is your wellness journal, your sleep journal, your recipes, and then your media. Guys, I have literally recorded this section 6-7 times. I'm not even exaggerating. For the 8th time. This is the wellness journal and I'm not even in the correct section at the moment because I'm just so frazzled. Anyways, 2024. So this is your month's view of your journal. You have 2 views. You have the gallery view and you also have the table view. You can add a new month by selecting the plus new sign here, or you can also add it from the right hand side where it says new. If you select the arrow going down, you'll see the template here that says month, and that will generate a template of the new month for you. So after you've created a new month, you can just go in and change out the cover image. I have included all the images for every single month in your pack, but you can just create your own images to suit your aesthetic. Now I'm just going to edit out the name to say the correct month. I've already made a few, so I think May is the next month I need to make. So every month is actually a filtered view of the year. You do have to apply a date filter so that it only shows you entries for that specific month. So every time you create a new month, you will see all of the entries that you've created until you apply the filter. It's really simple and I'll show you guys how to do it. There's multiple ways that you can apply a date filter. I'm going to show you a few here. You want to head over to the right hand side where it says filter, select filter, and then you want to scroll down to where it says date. That will select the date filter for you, or alternatively you could head to the bottom and select where it says add advanced filter. This will bring up the filter box for you. You want to then change the property from journal entry to date because it is a date filter. You want to keep start date because we're going to input a custom start date, which will always be the first of the month that you're creating. Then where it says is relative to today, you want to also change that to is on or after. This will basically show you all of the entries from the date that you select onwards. Finally, you want to change today to custom date and then you'll input the first of the month. So that is the start date. You need to input an end date, or as it will show you everything from that date onwards. So where it says add filter rule, this is where you're going to add the second rule, which will be the end date. This will create a duplicate of what's above. We're going to change the start date to end date, and then we're going to change is on or after to it's on or before. And then you want to change the date to the very last date in that month. So then this will show you entries that's on that date or before. And you can see that straight away it's filtered out all of those journal entries for me. So when I do create entries for the month of May, they will all show up here. Now I'm just going to change out the cover image to say May. Hopefully this was easy for you guys to understand. You won't really need to do this because I've already filtered all of the months for the year of 2024 for you. So it's only when you create a new year you'll need to refer back to this video to do it. Okay, so let's really get into this journal. This is the gallery view for the month of January, and these are all my journal entries. You also have a table view. The table view is just a little bit more detailed. Back to the gallery view, you can see that some of these days don't actually have information in them. I didn't start this journal till about the 13th of January, but it's really important that you still create every single day, even if there's no entry in them, because this journal calculates every single day and creates a progress bar of your habits, and then it divides it by 365 days of the year. So if you don't put in every single day, the information will be inaccurate. I know it's a tedious progress, but it is important that you do it. Let me show you what a journal entry looks like. We will go into the 30th of January. So the first thing that I like to do is edit out the name so that it says the day. You can actually edit this to say anything that you want, because you do have a date option below. Personally, I just like the date as the title from the gallery view. If you decide to put the date as the title, you still have to change the date to the correct date so that everything falls in order. So make sure that you update your date property. Below that is your habit tracker. It was imperative for me to have this integrated into the journal. It just made sense to have it here because my journal is the first thing I check in the morning and the last thing I check in the night. And I don't want to have to flick through loads of different pages just to access information. I highly recommend that you update your habits in the end of year review, because you do have to enter it in 2 places. But once you've entered it there, it will automatically update in your journal. My 4 habits are making my bed, going to bed at 9 p.m, getting 8 hours sleep, and waking up at 6 a.m. And every time you check these off, it will update in the progress bar down below. It will also update in your annual habits progress bar, so you'll see how you've progressed for the year for each habit. Below that, you have the option to rate your day. I just thought this would be like a nice feature to add, especially from the gallery view. The last property I want to show you guys is below the progress bar. It says related to annual something, I can't remember, and 2024. This is an extremely important property. This is what links all of your habits back to your annual habit tracker for the year of 2024. So you want to make sure this always says the correct year. To add a new year, you have to do it in the end of year review where the main database is. Now this journal is based off the 5 pillars of wellness that I briefly mentioned before. So you'll see a lot of the sections here are related to it. You have an area to put in a quote if you want to, and then you have 2 sections. You have the morning and then the evening section. You also have an option to put in the time. So for the morning section, you have your daily intentions, you have your daily gratitude, your daily affirmations, and then you have one of your 5 pillars of wellness, which asks you whether you had a good night's rest. Below that, you have the option to expand if you want to. Below that, you have your journaling section. So if you want to express anything or write, then this is where you do that. And then finally, you have your evening section, which is purely based on the 5 pillars of wellness. So you have your final 4 pillars of wellness and areas that you can expand on. These check boxes aren't actually tracked. They're purely there for your reference. The last thing you have is this button, which allows you to check off all your habits at once. This is just like a lazy go option. So this is your wellness journal.
Heading back to the wellness page, we're going to go to your sleep journal. Your sleep journal is quite similar to your wellness journal, but it focuses on your sleep. Your sleep journal landing page has a wealth of information about your sleep. I've included a few popular dream interpretations as well as angel numbers. At the bottom of that, you'll have your actual dream journal entry area. So this is the month of January for your sleep journal. Unlike your wellness journal, it does not automatically populate a day for you because it's not every day you have a dream or want to put a dream entry in. So you have to manually create these days. And it's pretty simple. You just click the side again and select the template there, and it will bring up a template for you. In the template, you only really have 2 options at the top, which is your mood and whether the dream was a nightmare or not. When you scroll down, you have a section to write about your dream. You have a section to interpret your dream, and then how you felt after you woke up from the dream. Your recipes tab is, as it says, it's an area where you can store all of your recipes. And then again, you can toggle the properties that you want to be displayed. I have the name of the dish, the calories, and then whether I've tried it or not. This is an example recipe. You have your calories that you can enter here. Your ingredients, I recommend copying it and pasting it straight in because you can't really do bullet points. So if you want to include bullet points like I've done here, you need to do it outside of the app and then paste it into the app. Remember, Notion is a block workspace, so some things you can't copy and paste that easily. You also have a checklist to check whether you've tried it or not, and then you have a section to select what type it is, whether it's dinner, lunch, dessert. You have an area here to put in your ingredients again, because at the top it kind of, I don't know, I like to have the option at the bottom and at the top. And then you have a section to put in the directions. Okay, so let's go to our shopping list now. With the shopping list database, you can't manually import your shopping list. This is only for your recipes. So if you have a specific recipe, it will bring that information in for you. The last section in your wellness page is your media center. Your media center is essentially a library of all of your books, your shows, and your movies. It allows you to catalog your shows and your movies, but it also allows you to track your reading. First thing you'll see is your reading tracker for the year. You have your year here, the goal that you want to achieve, and then you have a progress bar. To get your accurate progress, the number of books that's here has to reflect your goal. This is because your progress bar will track the percentage of books read that's listed here. If you have 10 books here, it will track the percentage read of that 10 books, not the percentage read of your goal. So just make sure the number of books here reflects the number here. So you have a few views. The first view is all, and it's a gallery view. It shows you all your books. The next view is your table view. It also shows you all your books, including the year. The next one is your 2024 view. So it tracks all your books that you've listed in here for 2024 and also all your books for 2025. So I haven't really got much books at the moment. I am currently reading this book called The Midnight Library. Well, I've stopped reading it actually. So this is the date that I've put in that I started, which is the 18th. You can put in the author. I already have a list of authors, but you can update this list by selecting author here, edit property, and then you can add in all the authors that you want. And it's the same thing for all of the properties here. If you want to add or remove properties, you just go into the name of the property, edit property, and then add or remove. So you have your genre, you have type, whether it's an audio or a physical book. You also have a rating, and then this here is a link back to your reading database. So you don't really need to touch this because it automatically populates it for you. The only how you would change this is if you are reading a book for a different year. So say you go into 2025, you now want this to reflect that. Moving down, you have your status. Now this section here is what calculates the progress or percentage of the book that you've read. You need to put in the amount of hours or pages you've read, and then here where it says total hours or pages, you need to put in the total hours or pages of that book. And what this will do is calculate your progress and put it in this bar here. I've also included this little section here that you can put a little comment about the book. Scrolling down, you have this brief section that you can put your thoughts or opinions about the book. You have your shows and your movies section. This is very similar to your books above. The only difference is that there's no progress bar for this because I feel like you don't need to track your progress of shows and movies that you've watched. So the last tab I have to show you guys is your goals and review. So one of the reasons why I created these templates was to help me to set systems opposed to just setting goals. This whole section is about creating systems that will help you achieve your goals. First thing you'll see is your annual goals here, and it's in a gallery view. You do have a few views here. I've broken down your annual goals into quarters. Actually, I've broken down all of the goals in this section into quarters. Again, it just helps to break up your goals so that you're not looking at them from the bigger picture, which can be very overwhelming sometimes. So you have your Q1, 2, 3, 4, and then you also have a table view of your goals. The benefit of having this table view is that you can immediately see any gaps in your goals. So you can see straight away that the end of year trip and my financial goal is missing systems. So there's no monthly goals or weekly tasks set for this specific annual goal. So I know I need to be more proactive now to fill this out. Heading back to all, goal. The thing that I really like about this is that I can see my progress bars here, so I know how far along I am with my goals for the year. Do bear in mind though that this isn't going to show like an accurate picture of your progress for the year, because your progress will automatically update as you add new tasks in. So for instance, create a brand portfolio. It says that I'm at 100%, which is not true. It just means that I have not planned for the whole year. So there's a lot of systems that are missing. So you can actually pre-populate some of the reoccurring monthly goals or tasks that you have to do that works towards these annual goals. And that will give you a somewhat accurate progress view of these goals. Scrolling down, you have this little section here, which is checklist. I just thought it would be really helpful to have these sections for you to goal plan, because I feel like you need to have personal goals, financial goals, goals for growth, career, and fitness. So this is just to help you create your goals. And then you have your monthly goals. Again, this is arranged in quarters. So you have Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. You also have a monthly view of these goals, so it will show you your monthly goals within this current month. Moving along, you have a annual view of these monthly goals, so it's all the goals that you've set for the year that are monthly goals. So if you scroll down, I've already populated some of these reoccurring monthly goals, so I don't have to do them every single month. They'll just show up in my monthly tab. This is your table view as well. And again, this is just another view to show you any gaps that you have missing. So if you scroll down, you have your daily tasks. So these are tasks that you have during the week. These tasks will work towards your monthly goals, and then your monthly goals will work towards your annual goals. Quickly going through the tabs, you have your current to do. This view does not show you tasks that are overdue, and it does not show you tasks that are completed. It only shows you tasks that you have to do from the current day. Your month tab now, this will show you everything within that month. So tasks that you've completed and tasks that are overdue. Then you have your all tab. As it states, it shows you all tasks without any monthly view. So this is your tasks for the whole year. Your annual task view is a board view of all of your tasks that has been arranged by your annual goals. So you can see all of your daily task within the annual task, if that makes sense. So for example, 20K on YouTube is a annual goal, and these are all the tasks I need to complete to achieve this annual goal. Obviously, you can't plan for the whole year, but you can plan for as far as you can. So this will constantly be changing and updating as you add more and more tasks. And then finally, you have your calendar view. You can select new hair or you can select new hair. It doesn't matter. It will bring up the template for you. You can then change out the name of the task. Where it says annual goal, you can now select the goal that this task will work towards achieving. So for me, this will be my health and fitness goal. Now this daily task needs to link back to a monthly goal. So I'm gonna head down here where it says monthly goal, select that. You can see all of my reoccurring monthly goals here. So because they're reoccurring goals, they're gonna have the same name. So for me to differentiate, I like to put the month at the end. So we're in the month of January, so I want this task to go towards the month of January. So I'm going to look through here and I'm going to select maintain a fitness routine, because this is what this daily task will work towards, and you can see it says January at the end. So what you have here is a system without having to think too hard about it. And you can see the task right there, run, the date that I'm supposed to do it, which is today. Then you have this column here for when you've completed it. Further across, you have your monthly goal that is linked to, then your annual goal, and then the interval. The last 2 pages is your vision board and then your end of year review. So quickly, I'll show you guys the vision board. So nothing special. It's just an area for you to upload your vision board so you can visualize your goals. I do have a little wish list below it as well. This is just like something extra. You can edit this or delete it out if you don't want it. So your year in review is where all of your hard work goes. It calculates all of your progress for the year in this one place. So when you get your template, I recommend coming to this page first, because you have this section here to upload or write a letter to yourself that you can read at the end of the year. It's a cute time capsule for you to see where you started at the beginning of the year. You get like a perspective of where your mind state might have been at the beginning of the year. Scrolling down, you have your journal and habits in motion. This is your main database for your journal and your habit tracker, so it just follows it here. You can add entries from this page as well. This is where you would update your habits, so you can edit this out to say whatever habit you want to include here. This calculates your progress of your habits for the year. You have to edit your habit here and at the top where I showed you guys before here. And then finally you have your goals statistics, which is just your annual goals in progress again. You can review your year in this section. It just asks you a few questions about how you got on with achieving your goals for the year.
Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Again, if you are interested, I will leave links down below to the templates. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I will try my best to answer every single question. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in another one.